And welcome everyone to episode 74 of One Piece at a Time, the One Piece read-through podcast where we read and discuss 5 chapters of the One Piece manga each and every week. I'm your host, Derek Bittner, and I'm joined by my wonderful co-host and freelance letterer at Shonen Jump, Brandon Bovia. How you doing, Brandon?
How's it going? I'm, of course, Brandon Bovia, manga letterer of stuff like Dragon Ball Super and Kaiju number 8 and many, many more. And I think One Piece is good. That's kind of a hot take, maybe, but as we'll get into, I think this might be a good comic.
Yeah, just a tad, because God, these chapters go by fast. And as we were talking about before we even started, the 5-chapter format we've been doing has kind of worked out really well in certain cases, and especially Water 7 so far, because each episode, it feels like we have an arc.
Yeah, it's not, it's not entirely self-contained, but it really feels like you're just getting a chunk of just carefully constructed story. And I think Oda knows that, and he knows how to pace his stories really well.
Without a doubt. It's super impressive, and man, this is a hell of a reveal. This is just a hell of a set of chapters. My God,
let's do it.
It's not
I've been
kicking
holding
his
back.
hats in the teeth anymore. It's like, let's reveal some other things.
Yep.
All right, let's get to it. Chapter 341, Demon. And we've officially made a tunnel from Alabasta to wherever the Hot Spring Island was. Yeah,
okay, so I guess it's not close, but it's not far, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. I love that the everybody's mimicking the mole, though. The mole and his peace signs or victory, whatever. Yeah, that's a good mole.
Yeah, it's given now that we know just the history of Alabasta and just kind of the issues that they had with water. And it's sort of cool to be like, all right, we have hot springs now. That makes me happy. It's good for them.
Who knew? But into the chapter itself, we're still left with the discussion we were left last time, where is Robin a friend or foe to the Straw Hats? And they're basically discussing okay, she said we will meet again after today, which means she's likely going to do something to make matters even worse. So the city's already in uproar. The only way to make a situation worse is to actually kill Iceberg.
Yeah.
And it's okay, so if they carry out the assassination and we're trying to stop it and we're at the site, then it's much easier that we get hit with the crime. But do we believe her? Do we doubt her? We don't know. We have to be sort of prepared for either one. But if they're going to do it, they're going to do it tonight. Should we go to the site? And Luffy's just immediately yeah, we're going.
Yeah, we go. Yeah. God, especially this is where I noticed it. Luffy's expressions throughout kind of this whole conversation and sort of the following events. It's so much more intense than you usually see from him. There's there's still the goofiness to it, but I mean, just God, the tone of everything is so serious now.
And it's the first real time we've had Zoro talking in a bit. He's mostly been a quiet observer, but now it's sort of laying out his thoughts about how the situation is.
Yeah, it's interesting seeing him as kind of the neutral, objective party here.
Now he brings up something, potential that Chopper definitely grasps onto. Is there was somebody walking with Robin when they saw her. So maybe they're the one that are making her do something bad. It's that's the best case scenario. But if they're actually comrades, well, that's a bad thing. So what do? Well, we catch Robin. And as Zoro points out, it's the world government hasn't caught her for 20 years. What are our chances? Well, we just got to try.
Yeah.
And then, I love the hero pose right there. It's minor, but just cool to see them framed like that, just these 4.
I mean, we've got the plan, and now we're, ready to see him move into action.
Before that, though, time to see how Usopp is doing, where he's scrounging together any kind of berries he has to get
this
lumber tar and rope.
Breaks my heart, man.
It is just the lowest point. You can hear his stomach growling, and the guy's I can't tell you things. We're kind of shut down because of the storm coming.
Right, seriously.
And he's I'll trade you some tools. No, I only sell stuff. I don't barter. So what are you doing here? And he's watching Usopp try to go away. He's here, have some rice balls. Good luck.
Yeah, I mean, just trying to you're seeing Usopp trying to carry all the lumber by himself, and then he just just hobbling and wobbling, and it just completely falls over. You seeing him strain himself like this, trying to work alone. That just it breaks my heart. But also, you're seeing the old man just kind of like, fine.
Especially just the drool coming out of Usopp when he sees the rice balls.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, and he's sort of just humming to himself as he eats and hangs out with the Mary. He finally gets a decent meal, and he's like, well, the waves are getting bigger, but don't worry, it'll be fine. You're a ship that's floating in the sky. Don't you worry. It's just, you really feel the connection between these two. It really sells it.
Yeah, absolutely. It just, God, there's something so lonely about seeing Usopp like this, just with a completely abandoned ship, in the middle of a brewing storm.
Yeah.
That last shot of just like them both in silhouette. I don't know. It got me.
Yeah. It's a nice touch to have Usopp lit up like that.
Yeah.
And you know what? You can almost interpret that as Usopp being the heart of the ship.
Yeah. And it just, in spite of everything, he's still trying.
Yeah. But we return to Blue Nose Bar, where we're hanging out with Kokoro and Frankie, and something's gotten into Frankie. And he doesn't actually say. He's ticked off for some reason.
I think that's Kokoro. It's just like, with him, you can't tell. Who knows what idiots are thinking.
Yeah, it is. Like, something struck a chord with him, and he's just like, let's go. Let's head out. And the time is definitely moving because the sun's already set. The back streets are too dangerous. Everybody's retreating to the headquarters. Like, okay, we're positive the Straw Hats are still here, but they have not made their move yet. And it's rumors have started about like what Luffy's crew is capable of. They're like, they could have, he has 100 million bounty on their head, so they could have 153,000 of his men.
Like, slow down there, Usopp.
Is Usopp been talking to you guys? Like, what the heck?
Yeah, seriously.
But we have the Galley-La positioned all around the headquarters to protect Iceberg, armed to the teeth. And then we got our 5 foremen right outside.
Just all lined up like that. It's badass.
I know, that is so badass. I like how Oda has them framed from smallest to tallest.
Oh, I didn't notice that. That's great. You really you get a sense of just how much bigger Tilestone is than everybody.
Mm-hmm. And everybody's just like, all right, they'd be idiots to show up, but the captain did crash into this place in broad daylight, so maybe they have no common sense. We'll just wait. And we go into the bedroom, and I was saying everybody's acting of their own accord. Trying to protect me. It's like, it's weird, but Khalifa finally asks Iceberg, why do you have Robin's wanted poster on your wall? It's like, it's better you don't know, because that is a demon.
A demon?
It's like, man. What is up?
The way that they're just hyping up Robin like this, just like, what happened?
Yeah. Like, what is it with her? Because we've seen her capabilities, but it's also like, why does that make her a demon?
Yeah, you get the sense that things are it's not just that she's an assassin in the criminal underworld. That there's something bigger going on here.
For sure. And even the Straw Hats are now positioned watching over the headquarters. And they're like, we got to let them make the first move, because if we start it first, the enemy will just take advantage of it. And we just see Robin's heel, and that's the end.
Ominous.
Oh, so ominous. It's all set up, but it's good setup. It's like I was saying before, how it's just like, ooh, we are getting like,
I feel the tone of this entire chapter is it's tense. It's very tense. It's quite literally the calm before the storm.
Very much so. So let's begin that storm with chapter 342, The Messenger of Darkness.
I did want to point out, just like in the little storyboard preview at the end of the chapter, it is funny that apparently Kokoro was a dude originally.
Oh, really? I thought it was just that rough. It's interesting because Oda's rough sketches are extremely rough.
Well, it says that, at least he says Chimney introduces Kokoro as Grandpa.
Oh, I didn't even read that.
Chimney is either misgendering Kokoro, or Kokoro was originally a man.
I mean, it makes sense if it was a man. I think I like it better with Kokoro as a woman. It gives it a bit more extra flavor.
Yeah, it's very funny to see just this constantly drunk old lady.
Yeah. But yeah, we got Pincer acting as a taxi going back and forth between Alabasta and the hot springs.
Alabasta's got public transportation now.
We had it before, but now it's just expanded. So that's natural bonus here. And you know what? I'm down for this. Let's do it.
I definitely think I'm very happy to get these little peeks at what Alabasta is up to.
Yeah.
I have far more interest in that than I do Gidatsu.
It's amazing how much it's improved by having these little cameos by Alabasta things.
Exactly. It's like, hey, here's the thing that you care about. And I'm like, yeah.
Yay. And we're back with Frankie, where he's just basically shouting out. I was like, where are you, Straw Hat? And he's like, I thought he had some spine, but he's not coming out to fight. And the girls are walking with him sideways and like, why are you walking that way? It's like, we're bad at walking into strong winds, which I love that joke. It's such a small joke, but it's such a good one.
It's not only it's a joke, but it makes sense. It's just like a neat little bit of like throwaway world building. You're like, oh yeah, like if they had walking with an afro in like that heavy wind would be a huge pain.
Yeah. And they even make notice, like, it's weird to see you this worked up. You're holding something in. It's not like you. It's like, no, that's how I am this week. And you see him meet up with the Frankie family, and just like, they're asking, did you take care of him? It's like, nah, something got in the way. And they're like, well, we saw the long-nosed punk repairing the ship by themselves, so I figured you got the rest of them. Oh, you got one. Yeah, on the ship. Cool. Let's take him hostage and say we have him, and if you don't come to the warehouse under the bridge, we're gonna take him down. We're gonna drown him, basically.
Wow.
It's like, oh man, poor Usopp.
Yeah, just constantly just getting targeted by the Frankie family.
Yeah, it's not going well with that regard.
Yeah, I don't know how well that plan's gonna work out for him though.
No, it's hard to say.
All the other Straw Hats are busy.
Yeah, because I think this is the last we see of Frankie for this set of chapters.
I think so, yeah.
He like I said before, he feels like a wild card in all this. We got whatever's happening with Robin. We got whatever, all the stuff happening with the Straw Hats trying to figure out what's going on with all that. And then there's just Frankie running around being like, I need my own personal satisfaction.
Yep. It's like, all right, he's the wild card for sure. It's just the chaotic one.
And we still don't know what he bought with all that money.
Oh, yeah, that's true too.
But we get to back to the Galley-La Company headquarters, and Chopper's just keeping an eye on everyone. And yeah, they're just all like, where are they? I know they're coming. Where are they coming?
Armed to the teeth.
And Luffy's like, okay, we can't jump in without a plan. Things could be bad. And Nami's like,
really, man?
Now? Yeah. Really?
Yeah, it's just the way that she's just admits defeat. It's sad but true.
But they're basically all determined to catch Robin. We're gonna make this happen, and it's already 9:10 as we see from the clock. It's getting later and later. The winds are picking up, and Iceberg finally says to Khalifa, "Leave me for a while and call Polly in." And so that happens. Tilestone immediately thinks the last will and testament.
Right. I guess it's cool that they at least like acknowledge that, like, we should probably give him some space.
Yeah.
Kaku or Lulu.
Yeah. Lulu's like, let's give him some space, and Kaku's like, well, what's so important at this time? And we don't even hear it. It's just talk, and he's like, all right, I understand. And Iceberg's like, I thought very hard about this. You're the only one I can ask. And can I accept? Do you accept this? And it's like Paulie's like, yeah, no, leave it to me. I got it.
Okay, yeah.
And he's like, hey, I got an errand to run. I gotta take off for a bit. And it's just waiting. I love that most of this chapter is just like little mood setting pieces.
The focus on the clock as the time slowly passes is definitely it's really interesting that you even sort of like Oda just dedicates like a couple of panels. Just you see Iceberg sitting there as the tick tock, just it feels, and then contrasted that against just like the winds and the the splashing of the water against just sort of on
the edge of the city,
on the edge of the city. It's just like things are.
Yep. Polly goes to the president's office and is instructed to peel back the carpet under the desk and find a built-in safe. Gets a combination and he starts opening it. And all of a sudden we get a little... I always forget what the transponder snail. I almost call it a Den Den Mushi because that's what I'm so used to from the old days. That's years ago, and I still have Den Den Mushi stuck in my head.
Yeah.
But yeah, the transponder snail. And we see Robin with a bare-faced mask.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Drawn so ominously, but very silly looking.
Yeah. And they're just like, all right, whoever's on the other end, I'm going to create a distraction. The four of you will carry out your assignments as soon as you see the signal. And as soon as that's over, explosion.
I guess that was the signal.
I guess so. And everybody's immediately thrown off as like, somebody fire us? What's going on? Paul is freaking out. The Straw Hats are freaking out. Everybody's running to see what's going on. Tilestone comes in to make sure that Iceberg's okay. And they're like, we spotted someone. He's in disguise. Go get him. And Tilestone and Lulu immediately take off to take care of him, leaving only Lucci and Kaku to keep an eye on things.
We had 5 security guards. Now we're down to 2.
Yeah, it's not going so well.
Yeah.
And we see the one causing all this issue, somebody in another mask with a hat and it looks like a lot of feathers, using this super spiked whip.
Yeah.
And
that looks like a very dangerous weapon.
Yeah, it does. That looks like painful. But they declare that these the Carpenters are no match for them. And just fight is on, I guess. And at the same time,
it's basically chaos has ensued inside the mansion.
And all the while, the bare face mask is like, all right, you got the layout of the mansion memorized, and Robin's like, yep. Of course, amongst all this, Luffy disappears, and everybody's just shocked. I just noticed this right now with Nami's reaction to this. She looks like the mermaid from Hachi's.
Yeah, I thought about that too.
Just has that same sort of hairstyle. And she also freaked out in the same way.
Yeah, of course. It wouldn't be One Piece if Luffy just didn't, it's at the first sign of trouble.
I kind of love Chopper's reaction. It's just kind of understated, but also cute.
Yeah, I feel like Chopper's usually the one with the more exaggerated reactions.
Polly finds the thing that Iceberg was talking about, and 2 more masked people showed up, a skull face and a bull face. And it's like, well, that's where Iceberg was keeping it. Hand it over. That's valuable. And it's like, oh... Yikes.
I think as a reader, you could probably assume this thing is whatever the government wanted.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. And it's just like the stakes seem to be getting higher for this whole plot point.
Yeah. It is interesting how it is escalated from kind of like we introduced it in kind of a small throwaway scene to, oh, no, whatever this is really important.
For sure. And we also get... It's been a while, but we actually have a pretty impactful SBS. One is somebody noticing that Nami's gotten a bit curvier since the beginning. They actually have a comparison here.
Yeah.
And Oda's just like, yeah, I get that question a lot, but Nami's 18. If you think about it, she's still growing yet. She's not done. I don't know. I feel like most women are pretty fully developed at 18. If he said 16, I'd buy it. But with her being 18... and I forgot that Robin's 28.
Yeah. I think that is probably the first time her age has been mentioned. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. It has been just a gradual increase as time goes on. I will say that.
It will continue to gradually increase.
I wonder if they're ever did they ever stop? Is the bigger question.
Yes. Probably should have stopped a lot longer ago, but you know what? Whatever.
Yeah, there it goes.
But I do actually like, the other SBS I think is really fascinating.
Yeah, because they're like 80 million seems a little low for Crocodile after all we've seen. Was it a mistake on your part, or is it get higher because of more evil you've done? And it's something he's explained before. It's definitely all about how threatening you are to the world government. But the key thing with Crocodile is that he became a warlord before performing Baroque works. And so if that added level of danger was actually included, his bounty would actually be twice as much.
Which I think that is an important distinction, because I think with the warlords, Oda usually says, like, what was their former bounty before becoming a warlord.
Mm-hmm. And it's entirely possible, like Crocodile, that the others became more dangerous as time went on.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I like having a meaty SBS.
Yeah. It's like, actually, some good world building instead of just, a lot of the really silly stuff.
Yeah.
Which I feel like we've been getting a lot of lately.
Certainly. All right. Time for chapter 343, Cipher Pole number 9. And hey, here's Vivi and her entourage all here to pay a visit. And even
I love Vivi rocking the jeans.
Yeah, jeans, long hair. Very much looks like a tourist or just a kind of a rock star because of the entourage.
Yeah. Just like, is this a princess of a desert country?
Yeah. And even got the guy who was supposed to have blown up. I forget his name at this point, but yeah, there he is. Pell, that's it.
Yeah, for some reason I noticed everybody else. It's like, oh yeah, there's Igaram and Chaka. I didn't notice that Pell was there.
Yep. Although I have in the next chapter volume, the opening, I do like something that Oda did for Pell. So we'll get to that.
I don't think I noticed that either, so I'll be interested to see what that is.
Oh, okay. We got Robin and this bear mascot person up against the wall as they're completely surrounded by the Carpenters, not looking good. And then all of a sudden he like flashes the cape. Everybody shoots at it, and they're gone. It's like, what just happened there?
What happened? Yeah.
Huh.
I think this is because I remember. Okay, yeah. So we get the devil fruit reveal later within this set of chapters.
Yes, we do.
But I love it when we're just kind of like, what the hell was that?
I know it's played so mysteriously.
Really, just leaves you guessing. There's a lot of really good ones like that.
And the whip user is definitely strange as well because apparently they're running through the air,
right,
and just sending people just flying like they are just completely taking out this group, and we see them jump like basically double jumping through the air.
Right, yeah. What item did you unlock for that?
Oh gosh, and they're just continue to cause a ruckus while Paulie faces off against these two, and they explain, we come from the shadows that we are agents of justice. Undercover intelligence agency Cipher Pole number 9. They exist.
There it is.
Yep.
It's real.
Uh-huh. And Paulie's just like, okay, no matter how you got in, you had to run into some of our men. And they say there may have been some casualties or maybe not. And their fingers are just dripping with blood.
Wow.
It's like, holy crap. They just wiped down an entire office of like a hallway of these carpenters. And I mean, they're with the government, yet they're just killing or injuring innocent people in this. Like, what the heck is up with this agency?
Yeah, it is cool. Well, maybe cool is not the right word, but it is fascinating. If you're rereading this, or like you kind of know what these characters are about right now, and you see the way that the corpses, they're probably not actually dead,
I don't think they're dead. Yeah.
The ways in which that they have been injured, I think, is very. You'll understand why that is, and so it's one of those things that you wouldn't notice, but if you know what you're looking out for, it's just kind of okay, so yeah.
I don't remember the exact details of it, so
yeah. I think that will become clear fairly soon.
Okay.
Not in this set of chapters, but probably the next or one after that, maybe.
It's just like you could just feel the threat because it's like, we're here for Iceberg's item, hand it over, and because you know what it is we're after, you have to die.
Yeah, very clearly, they have no qualms about just offing innocent people at this point.
Nope, it is just part of the job.
Yeah, and you understand very quickly how brutal CP9 is.
Oh, easily. You get the chaos at the outside. Robin, and we go back inside with Robin and this bear person. It's like, all right, so on the other side of this wall, and he just lines up against the wall and says, push. and it opens. It's like that's how they've been escaping.
Like, all right then.
I completely forgot about this power.
Yeah. Here we go.
It is the weirdest thing, but you know what? It's kind of awesome. The door fruit. However thick the wall, wherever I touch, it becomes a door. Can get in and out of anything. That's wild. Like, that's a super useful power for, like, assassination. Like, holy crap.
He's basically got Link's ascend ability, but just through any wall.
Yeah.
Not vertical ones.
Oh, man. As soon as he steps in, it just shoots Iceberg right in the shoulder immediately.
Yeah. Which even Robin's just kind of like, hey, whoa, buddy.
Yeah. It's like, he isn't harmless as he has the energy to talk. It's only professional of us to restrain him and keep him from acting against us unexpectedly. And he's like, so that's the CP9 way. He's like, yep.
Yeah. Which, hey, good guess on Iceberg's part. He's like, okay, yeah, you guys are CP9, right?
Mm-hmm. And I like that Iceberg immediately realizes, like, oh, crap, I did something terrible to the Straw Hat Kid. He wasn't part of this at all. It's like, yep.
Womp womp.
Yep. And it's like, yeah, we didn't kill you. We didn't do all that on purpose. We wanted you to blame the Straw Hats.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, besides, if we had killed you, we wanted to find out where you had hidden the blueprints for a certain ship. And apparently these blueprints have been passed down from shipwright to shipwright, handed down secretly from master to apprentice. So if you had felt your life was in danger, you would undoubtedly have tried to entrust the plans to someone, and you chose Paulie. So we're taking care of him right now. And he's like, oh, so things are going according to your plan? Great. Jeez. Just the level of planning on this one. And the bear guy, I'm assuming guy, even at this point, just the size of it could be wrong. But, basically saying, all right, I'm going to take care of the shipwrights outside the door, so we can finish this without a hitch. You finish him, Robin. Once the comrades have the blueprints, kill him. And then we'll race Paulie, and yeesh.
Poor Paulie basically sent, or poor Iceberg just sent Paulie to die, basically.
Yeah. And yeah, again, all according to plan, because the Straw Hats will be blamed for this.
Which I think so. Based on what we know right now, it's safe to say that like CP9 is a government operation.
Yes.
And so I do find it very fascinating that based on the way that they do things, it's kind of like we're going to make sure that the pirates take the blame.
And that's
although you know what this reminds me of, which I just thought of right now. It reminds me of the end of Alabasta, where they were basically like, "Good job, Smoker, you did it," and Smoker's like, "No, the pirates, they did." It's like, no, we can't give the pirates credit. You did it. It seems very much. I guess we're seeing more and more bits of the government kind of like we're seeing how they actually deal with pirates and kind of like
Sometimes they'll let pirates go just because they're useful in that way.
Exactly. Yeah, they're using them or abusing them for their own benefit.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of pirates, we have Chopper, Nami, and Zoro running towards the mansion, trying to get after Luffy. Is like, why won't he take our advice? It's like, all right, so we have to proceed carefully, but we might actually be in luck, because if Luffy got into the enemy camp, he's not going to sneak around. He's going to try to go through the front gate. So that might be where it's actually the most thin. So
I liked that both Zoro and Chopper are like, yeah, no way, not a chance. Luffy's not going in through the side.
Nope. So we can go through the front because he's just causing a ruckus, and just go through that way. We'll blend in and get our way through. So let's do it. Let's get in there, and they do it. And every carpenter is still there.
Oh,
I love that play.
Yeah. It's just very quick. All right, hop over the fence. Here we go. Yeah.
And the great thing is Luffy got stuck. He's stuck in between some buildings because he's trying to jump into the mansion. I don't know how he did that, but
I don't know how he did that either.
I also have the thoughts like, oh God, Luffy's going to miss all this just because he's stuck the entire damn time, isn't he?
Yeah. I'm glad that's not what happened.
Yeah, we know for a fact that did not happen. But I'm like, I saw that. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, exactly. It's just another one of those like, oh, the hero, he's stuck again. He's gonna miss everything, and he's gonna come in super late. And I just we've done that like half a dozen times already between Arlong Park and Skypiea and a bunch of other examples. So I'm glad at least that's not quite how things turn out here.
Yeah, it's all played for a joke.
Yeah.
Instead, that's much better.
Yeah.
But yeah, inside the chaos, Tilestone is informed that they're taking out everybody in there, and we get back to the front of Iceberg's door, and there's our door man sitting in between Kaku and Lucci, both of them seemingly dead.
Yeah, which is just holy. The way things have escalated.
Yeah, the fact that we'd seen these guys go toe to toe with Luffy, and all these guys seemingly getting taken out without issue. It's like, holy crap.
Yeah, we've only gotten a little peek at what CP9 is capable of, and it's just like, oh yeah, these guys mean business.
Yeah, and they're just still waiting for that signal, and that's how we end that chapter. So,
yep.
Ooh. But yeah, let's do it. Chapter 344.
Keep going.
Opposing Force, where we get to see the men's bath. And here's what I like about this sort of reveal is it wasn't just Pell did not get out of that bomb scot-free. If you can see the scars, he is heavily scarred.
Yeah, he's roughed up real bad. I didn't take note of that at all.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something,
I'm glad it wasn't like a scot-free type thing. I'm willing to...
Exactly.
He should be dead, but you know what? At least he's, there's some sort of impact from all that.
Yeah, I'll take it.
This is a cute scene, though, watching all the ducks do their thing.
Oh, man, I miss these guys.
Yeah. But now it's time for Tilestone versus Door Man.
Yep, we were already talking about how they were far and away more powerful than everybody else.
And we get a demonstration because we get Tilestone's massive hammer, and so I don't know how this deal it goes with a door fruit, but they're able to use something called Iron Body, and that he just breaks apart the hammer with a fist.
Yeah, which... Oh boy. And well, not only that, and then just like with whatever that I assume the Iron Body is still active or whatever, and then just punches Tilestone right in the face.
Yeah. I mean, not only that, but he had him by the shoulder.
Yeah.
Preventing him from moving at all. He's just that strong. And then, then the power in the face is like just overwhelming power. It's like, oh.
Yep.
So that's how he took out the other two because, dear God.
Yep. Yeah. Oh boy.
It's just again, the slaughter continues as he takes out all the other Galley-La members out there. And just like it is an intense set of chapters. It's just this siege on the headquarters.
Yeah, siege is a good word for what's happening right now.
Yep. But of course the Carpenters have all recognized Zoro and company. They're chasing after them. And Zoro's just like, all right, whatever we do, it'll look like they caught us red-handed, so I'm just going to use the back of my blades and knock them out. It's like, that's still a good way to kill them.
It's fine. It's the back of the blade.
it is what it is.
Yep.
But thankfully, it's all it takes for Luffy to get out. Luffy's finally out of here and heads over to the Galley-La company. So I was like, oh, thank God.
All that really served was to put Nami, Zoro, and Chopper in a bad situation.
Yeah.
But Luffy is right back into action. Thank goodness.
Yeah, that's way better. And then we get to have a little conversation between Iceberg and Robin as all this is going on.
Yeah, we do.
He's talking as if he knows her, and she's like, have we met? No, last night was the first time. And he pulls a gun on her, and I love this. She uses her extra arms to like pull 4 guns on him.
God, every time like you see Robin use her powers in such a unique and interesting way.
He said he wanted to meet her, and God, the hard looks on her faces during all of this, and even his. It's like, so you could kill me, and he's like, yeah, so you could before you destroy the whole world, and. We get a bit of an explanation. It's like, since antiquity, searching for and researching and decoding poneglyphs has been classified by the government as a global high crime. And she's like, oh, you know about the poneglyphs? Well, simply knowing about their existence is a crime, but the only person in the world who can actually decipher them is you. That's why the government put such a high bounty on an 8-year-old girl. You're the only one who can reactivate the ancient weapons.
Oh, here it's back.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yep. I almost wonder if it was on purpose that Oda was like, hey, remember Alabasta in the cover stories?
You know, it does make you wonder.
Yeah.
And Iceberg giving comments, it's like, you've left the Straw Hats and enjoyed the world government. Strange for a woman that's been relentlessly pursued by them, but it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter whether the person who possesses it is good or evil. If the weapon's reactivated, it's going to be the exact same. Weapons can't bring peace to the world of mankind. The whole world will be destroyed, and this should not be reawakened.
Man, yeah, Iceberg's dialogue here is so interesting.
Oh, it really is. He is just full of conviction with this whole thing. And the crazy thing is that Robin's like, yeah, you're right. I think that way myself, but you don't know me. You have no right to tell me how much research I should do. And he's like, no, I'm in the same position you are because I hold the blueprints for a weapon of ancient world, the Pluton, which is exactly what Crocodile was going for.
Yeah, it came back in just like the most just crazy way.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that Pluton came back as far as this whole thing that I just didn't make the connection. I just thought it was another weapon.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's Pluton, it's so fascinating because Crocodile was searching for the weapon itself, which that poneglyph did reveal the location of. And Robin just didn't tell him. But Iceberg holds the blueprints so they could make multiple, potentially.
Yes.
And we even get a sense for what that weapon would be. It's a battleship. It's like the weapon was too powerful. Ancient shipbuilding engineers thought the opposing force would be needed in the likely event that it went out of control, so they passed the blueprints down throughout the generations. So, just like, we build it, but it was maybe too powerful, so maybe we need to have these blueprints to get around in case we need to build another one in order to oppose it.
Yep. And it makes sense that you wouldn't just want, like, somebody to have those blueprints to use them for evil, because obviously if you could just make a whole bunch of them, that would also not be good.
No, that's a very, very bad thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, the government wants these and you're going to extreme measures to get them, and to think that you're actually helping them without knowing that, it's kind of shocking. But a man named Tom entrusted the blueprints to him, always worried about a lone girl who escaped from the O'Hara incident 20 years ago. He thought that she was a threat despite her age because she shared the ideas of the demons of O'Hara. So out of consideration for the weapon's makers, it's my duty to stop you. And that's interesting. We got an incident from 20 years ago. We have this mention of this little girl who's obviously
that's
Robin. Obviously
that's
Robin
here.
And apparently something to do with these that shares the ideals with their people. So,
Yeah.
And he's like,
God, we're getting so much exposition here.
Mm-hmm.
It's
all this interesting setup, and even with explanation for why he didn't simply burn the blueprints. It's like, doing that's not enough because you're alive. So you might still find a way to reactivate the weapon.
Man, it's interesting. Like, you think about how, he's mentioned that, like, researching the poneglyphs is a high global crime. But, like, you think about, like, the poneglyphs that we saw in Skypiea, and it's like, the portrayal, like, there's nothing even close to that. This doesn't look like this is, like, a bad thing.
Oh, I think it's because nobody can read them, so they weren't researching, they were kind of protecting them, so I think that's why you kind of get away with it with Alabasta. But it's interesting that it's a high crime, and yet the government wants these blueprints, and they're willing to kill to get them.
So,
but do they just think it's better protection under themselves, or is there nefarious purposes here? We don't know.
The way that the scale has just blown up completely, that we are kind of now dealing with, like, world-ending threats
again.
Again in a different way compared to with, like, Edaru, but
Inaru and Crocodile, it's all back to all back to that.
It goes without saying, like, this is some of my favorite stuff about One Piece is when we really kind of get into the nitty gritty of the lore, which, I mean, One Piece has nitty gritty lore, and I feel like you wouldn't necessarily get that just from where the story started. But now, compared to where we were 300 chapters ago, it's like the world feels so much more bigger than it did back then.
Oh, yeah. Just from the moment we entered the Grand Line, it just became this massive place.
Yeah.
But yeah, Robin's able to use her power, turns the gun on Iceberg, pins him down, and is like, she's just like, is that all you wanted to say before you die? And she's like, no. Even if you had killed me, your blueprints would have been stolen and the result the same. I miss you. Is it? I don't know who's saying that. I guess it's him.
Yeah, I think, yeah. But that's
actually
what?
Yeah, I think that's actually Robin saying that, which is weird.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because she's saying, even if you had killed her, Robin, your blueprints would have been stolen. He's like, oh no, it wouldn't have. You're the ones who fell for my ruse.
Oh,
and
I love this
playing
part.
The game.
Yeah,
Polly's not doing so well, definitely bleeding out a bit. And they're like, hey, hand it over before you get blood all over it. It's like Polly's just like, hey, I thought I could win, and falls over. And he's like, Iceberg did tell me to run away at once. Just throw it away and run. Because the blueprints are fake.
Yo!
Iceberg with the play.
Oh, the 3,000 IQ plays. God, this is why this arc is so amazing. It's just like the twists and turns that keep happening. Now that we're just in the thick of it, it's so wild, man.
Yeah, just back and forth. Learning what they're after, learning how Iceberg prepared for it. Just, it's so good. We still have questions, of course, but my God, just sucks you in reading these chapters.
Yeah. Oh.
So let's get to the last one for this set. Chapter 345, Sleepers, where we see the women's bath. And honestly, It's funny to think it's actually less interesting than the men's bath. There's less to talk about. We got the fighting dugongs, but it's just Vivi in a towel, which I feel like we've seen her in less clothing in earlier in the anime.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Manga,
you're right.
So it's like whatever. But into the chapter itself, and Polly's on the ground. The bull is like, it's fake. The skull is like, what an idiotic thing. And,
and
Polly's just like,
pissed off the wrong people.
Yep. I was just like, I don't know who you are, where you're from, but I guess your plan fell apart. Serves you right. Even it's just a pity I don't even know what you're after.
I love Polly bleeding out on the ground, just kind of like, serves you right.
Yep. In any case, even if you were just a decoy, you still know too much, so we can't let you live. And just as he was about to take care of him, here comes Luffy through a wall.
Always there to break down the tension.
Yep. It's like, huh? The rope guy, you okay? You're covered in blood. They're like, this is the third floor. What's going on with you?
Yeah.
And the other two are just like, did you come all this way just to take the blame? Hey, masks? Hey, you must be the guys. You're the ones who told Robin to do stuff. Give Robin back.
Yeah, of course. I love Luffy trying to negotiate while he's like halfway stuck through a wall.
Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, Skull Guy has this thing called the Tempest Kick, which Luffy is somehow able to dodge, getting out of the wall in time. And you see, like, whatever their abilities is, they cut the wall with the kick. So, and you did mention the cuts on the people. So,
yeah,
what are these abilities that they have? Like, I can't remember.
Yeah. Oh,
beyond,
I remember.
Beyond certain aspects of them.
Yeah, they're. I don't want to. I mean, yeah. We'll
don't tell me, of course.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, because, like, we saw we have like the door devil fruit, but like it sort of keeps you questioning on like kind of what the nature of these abilities are, because we saw like the iron body thing is like that. I don't think that has anything to do with the door abilities, but it's One Piece, so you never know.
Come up with some explanation.
It definitely. Like. Yeah, we've seen weirder applications of devil fruits.
Yeah, so we had a man eat himself.
Yeah, so it's like, you know what, whatever.
But yeah, Luffy's like wondering about that when all of a sudden the bull just catches him from behind, gets him with a kick, pins him to the ground with a kick, and then uses bull horns, it looks like, in order to just pin him to the ground.
I don't know what's up with these. This is just
Yeah,
straight up. What's this?
I have no idea. And they're just like, stop him too. And they pin Paulie to the ground. And all of a sudden, it begins to ring. And they're like, all right, it's been a hitch in the plan. Report to the bedroom. Whatever you do, do not kill Iceberg yet. And we see of everybody responding, including Whip Person. Is like, oh, I have to go now. And Lulu's actually facing off against them. It's like, seems to have made it through all right, the best. But they have to finish him off somewhere. Just knock him out.
Yeah.
Just in one punch.
Oof. Yeah, they were toying with him, basically.
Oh, totally. Just distractions.
Yeah.
And I love this conversation between Luffy and Paulie. It's like, hey, you okay? I've survived worse. So why'd you come here? Everyone thinks you're criminals, and I'm sorry for that. And Luffy's like, I'm used to being chased. Anyway, these guys took one of my crew, and I came to get it back.
He doesn't take it personally.
Yeah, he just doesn't care. I was like, oh, that must be Robin. And he's like, hey, you're strong in a fight, aren't you? Yeah, I'm strong. Think you can beat them? Oh, yeah. Then fight with me. I want to win, too. You do? Yeah. You think I'm going to let Iceberg get killed by idiots who nobody knows from who knows where? And I like this. I like this kind of bonding moment between the two.
Yeah, it's adorable. And then like they're both just kind of like screaming.
Yeah. Ah! And we get a little bit of pass for Paulie. He's like, he taught me everything I know. He made me a proper shipwright. It's like, well, you're a mess. Well, I'm telling you, I want to beat those idiots to pulp. You think I care what happens to me after that? I'll fight till I'm down to a single bone. I was like, all right, I'll fight with you.
Man, I love Paulie.
Yeah,
he's
cool.
He's just in a bad situation.
And we go back to Iceberg's room. We see somebody take one of them take the hat off of Lucci. The time is continuing to tick down as it is now 9:45, I believe. I forget when the last train goes, but yeah, it's definitely not quite time for that. And we see all the masked people and Robin in the room surrounding Iceberg. And he's like, hey, go home. There's nothing to hand over. It's like, oh, we have a problem then. And all of a sudden, Hattori shows up, lands on the bull's shoulder. And it's like, what should I tell first to a dying man? And Iceberg is just shocked. We get the reveal that Lucci was the one in the bull mask and Kaku was the one in the skull mask.
And God, the misdirection. And then you see just like those couple panels outside the room where like they basically like swapped bodies and taped on a fake nose on one of them.
That nobody notices in the chaos.
Exactly.
And Kaku's just calmly saying, yeah, none of this would have happened if you just handed them over to the government when it asked nicely. And even Khalifa, the whip user, is like, we wanted to leave town without hurting you if we could. And it's like, oh man, even the secretary's against them. And then finally, our final member, the one in the bear mask that's been with Robin this entire time, is Bluno, the guy, the random dude from the bar.
From the bar, yeah. I love that he's in on it too, just because it's like the most random one.
Yeah, just this random guy that we didn't even really pay attention to. He's just there in the background with Kokoro and Frankie.
I mean, I love, if you think about it, so thinking back, it's like, with that conversation at the bar, you even had like Kokoro's like, oh yeah, CP9's real.
Yeah, he's like,
yeah.
And it's just like, oh, you're all working with the government? And I like this shift because Lucci is no longer talking through Hattori. He's talking himself.
Right, which I guess must be like, it's not really the first time, but,
it might be a way of hiding his voice.
Yeah. Oh, I hadn't thought about that.
Like his real voice. I don't know.
That makes sense.
We get introduced to the Cypher Pole number 9, undercover intelligence agency under the direct control of the world government. And it's like, hey, undercover is the easiest thing in the world for us, but you had to make things difficult. So where is the blueprints for Pluton before more innocent people are harmed? And it's, God, that's such a badass lineup. Like, I'm sorry, Lucci's boss as hell with that the suit, the tie, the hat. Like, that completes his look. We had him down to his like undershirt before when he was just a carpenter, but to still reveal his true self is like, Lucci's awesome. Yeah.
Definitely not to get ahead of myself, but he's a very popular character for a reason.
Yeah. I get a sense of, I don't know if it's fully inspired by that, but I get a sense of Slash from Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. I also, little minor detail that I do enjoy, Kaku swapped out his white hat for a black hat.
Oh, he looks like he's trying so hard to look threatening, but I can't with the nose.
The nose kind of undermines it, but he's still kind of threatening.
Yeah.
Oh man. What a wonderful set of chapters. This
is still one of the coolest twists in the whole series.
Cuz I was looking for clues. There's basically none.
Yeah. None that there are they're working for the government. I think there are a few things that I'm going to wait to point out still, I think, but it is, I think, relative to some other twists or I guess you can see it in a lot of writing where it's just if you know what to look for, then it'll be I guess it's tempting for an author to play all their cards too soon. But this, I think what I love about this reveal is that it makes perfect sense, but it wasn't telegraphed too early.
No, I mean, we got little things here and there. Not much from Lucci, definitely not much from Bluno, but Kaku and Khalifa are the two big ones, because Kaku's saying don't want to mess with the government, and then Khalifa, I noticed in her dialogue as we were going along, kind of prodding Iceberg.
Whoa,
for information constantly, just little things here and there.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, you're right though.
Yeah, just the entire time. It was pretty fascinating to reread it and have look for those. But for the most part, like you said, it is very minor.
And I think you can even as far as the way that Robin disappears earlier in the arc, I think because she was with Bluno, the door powers. Yeah,
she was with Bluno, who used the door fruit to get them away, which explains why Sanji lost track of them.
Oh.
And speaking of, we don't even know what Sanji's up to.
Yeah, where's Sanji?
Frankie's heading toward Usopp. We got Cypher Pole number 9 doing this whole thing at the headquarters. Luffy's with Paulie. The rest of the Straw Hats are trying to deal with the other carpenters who are still confused. It is, oh man, is just for it the entire time.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Can't wait for more. But
can't wait for more.
Oh yeah, we're getting there. We still have quite a bit of Water 7 to go through.
Yeah, oh, dude, this arc's so freaking good.
But with that, I believe we've said all we've wanted to say about chapters 341 to 345 of One Piece. Thank you so much for listening, and you can find more of my ramblings and stream VODs over at BitNerd Games on YouTube or BitNerd with an underscore at the end on Twitter. And Brandon, where can everyone find you at?
I'm at Brandon Bovia on Twitter, talking about anime, manga, games, and my job. I think I'll have a couple of neat things to talk about soon, and that's probably all I can say about that for now.
All right, sounds good.
Stay tuned.
Awesome. And if you'd like to help us out more, you can support the podcast over at patreon.com/Derek Bittner. That's DERRICKBITNER to listen to the next episode 3 days early. And make sure to return next time as we discuss chapters 346 to 350 of One Piece. So until then, my friends, bye.
Remember to take life one piece at a time.
You should have handed over the blueprints when the government asked nicely.
Kaku!
Pity. I was hoping we could walk away from this story without resorting to violence.
Khalifa!
It's a shame you're as hard-headed as your master.
Bruno from the bar. That means you've been with the government all this time.
Indeed.